Good morning, everyone. On the occasion of World Justice Day, Aliyawajang is conducting YouTube Live. Advocate Usha Andewar.
Good morning, everyone.
On the occasion of World Justice Day, which was held on 20th February 2025, Aliyawajang is conducting live YouTube. Advocate Usha Andewar, as an expert, will be orienting us about women and law in related policies in our country. Advocate Usha Andevar is LLB, LLM. She is member of Bar Council of India, member of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, life member of Bombay City Civil and Session Court Bar Association Mumbai, life member of Esplanade Court Mumbai. She has done many international and national workshops and courses. She is in various positions like legal advisor, advocate to various criminal matters in different metropolitan magistrate courts in Mumbai and Thane. She is practicing criminal law in high court. Criminal courts and family court at Mumbai. She is legal consultant to many companies. She is IRB member for as a in a ethical committee. She is a visiting professor to many universities, as well as she is working as a paper setter and examiner of a law in various universities. She is a member of POSH committees for the various organizations and colleges. We welcome you, ma'am, on this occasion. Kindly guide everyone about the women and law related policies in India. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone, friends, teachers, and everyone. Okay, it's a privilege to me to address you all today on the subject of women and law in India, a field which has witnessed tremendous advancement, but still needs a lot of things to be discussed and growth like. I would start this with a few quotes of, you know, from people in life. Like, for instance, Mahatma Gandhiji had said, India can be considered free only when its women folk can walk alone at midnight unharmed. This still, I think we have not got freedom because in many places we hear of rape, etc., when at night when they are alone, etc. Like, okay, the second quote of G.D. Anderson, writer and founder of the COA project, says that feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way the world perceives the strength. So women are strong. Women are stronger than the male counterpart, but still the perception is that we are the weaker category. As once Helen Keller said, alone we can do little, together we can do so much. As she is absolutely right. Alone we stand as a single person. When we are together, there is the strength to make a movement or make a thing be heard for the to the world. And the last one, which I just want to say, that is every woman should lead a life of respect, equality, and decency, free from any form of fear, force, violence, discrimination, etc. So basically, when we talk about women, we have, like for instance, from the time immemorial, we have seen the changes happening. The beginning of the women, we saw that they were much respected. We are goddesses, god of strength, god of money, goddesses of knowledge, Saraswati, Lakshmi, Parvati. But still, we have seen that concept of woman went somewhere, to a lower distinction, when sati was being done, when child marriages and widow remarriages were not allowed, etc. So in these senses, women were in the beginning treated with equal with the men, and they were given all kinds of rights. For instance, she used to be a queen, she used to go fighting in the wars. She was like, treated equal in regards to property rights and everything like. But at the same time, we also saw that there were a lot of other things which came in that after this period, and it was around Sati, Devdasis, Johar, and all those things like. But some of the concepts from the social, civil service societies with regards to Raja Ram Mohan Roy and everyone, wherein they tried to abolish sati, tried to, Savitri Pule tried to educate women and get them into par with the men. Like, so women education, sati being barred, and um, uh, remarriage of widows, etc., happened a little bit away from before the independence movement. Along with the independence movement, we saw the movement for the civil societies with regards to women uprisal, women empowerment, women education, etc., etc. Okay, so when we saw all these things, like the principle of the gender equality was not there, but we saw that in and around in the world, there were a lot of conventions held with regards to women equality. So, like for instance, CEDAW, that is all forms discussed in 93, wherein we were also a part of ratifying countries. Here, the principle of gender equality is enshrined, and this we brought it in the Indian Constitution as well, in its preamble, fundamental rights, fundamental duties, and directive principles of the state policy. The Constitution not only granted equality to women, but also empowers state to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favor of women within the framework of a democratic polity. Our laws, development policies, plans, and programs have aimed at women's advancement in different spheres. India has also ratified various international conventions and human rights instruments committing to secure an equal right for women rights. Now, when we talk about women rights, let's talk from the beginning. Like, for instance, when did women rights start, and which are the laws which gives us the women right? I will not go deep into all those things, like, but I will try to explain right from the Constitution of India, because the Constitution of India is one of the basic provisions from where all the other laws comes up. So in constitution, the provisions which are laid, not only grants equality to women, but also empowers the state to adopt measures of positive discrimination in favor of women for neutralizing the cumulative socio-economic, education, and political disadvantages faced by them. Fundamental rights, among others, ensures equality before law and equal protections of law. Prohibition prohibits discrimination against any citizen on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth, and guarantees equality of opportunity to all citizens in matters of relating to employment. So these are some of the things which Constitution grants us. Like, so now let's see what are the constitutional privileges. Article 14 gives us equality before law. That means everyone should be treated equal irrespective of their gender before law. And Article 15(1) talks about the state should not discriminate against any citizen on grounds only of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, or any of them. So there should not be any discrimination. The state should not. That means in respect of anything like employment, education, or promotion, etc., etc. 15(3) talks about the state to make any special provision in favor of women and children. This is, I'm talking about with regards to the, if at all the state feels that some kind of reservation has to be done with regards to the women's to uplift them in some manner, then the state should be doing it. That's why we have reservations in the trains, the buses, etc. That is 33% reservations, reservations with regards to educational institution, etc. So that they get equal opportunity for coming up in life. Then we have under section Article 16, equality of opportunity for all citizens in matters relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. That means if the state government has any appointments of job, etc., then it has to be equally distributed among the men and the women. There should not be any favoritism towards the men. So equal opportunity has to be given, and equal appointment to any of the officers of the state has to be there. That means women should also be considered for the state. Then we have Article 39A, which talks about the state to direct its policies towards securing for men and women equally the right to an adequate means of livelihood. That means men and women, whether they are men or women, the livelihood opportunities has to be equal for both of them. Now, what are the livelihood opportunities means? Like for instance, if a man wants to start a startup company and a woman also wants to have a startup company, they should be treated equally and be helped by the government or the banks, etc. There should not be any bifurcation like a man would be doing a profit and a woman will not be doing getting a profit. So loan should not be given, or how is she going to repay it? No, that should not be the equal adequate means of livelihood should be given in whatever manner they are. And also 39D talks about equal pay for equal work for both men and women. So in a company, equal work, equal payment. But most of the time we see that in some companies the payments are not similar, and they give some reasons for giving a lesser amount or more amount. So it has to be equal amount and equal pay for equal work for both men and women. There should not be any discrimination done under section 39D. If at all any factory or any office does that, then that is against the constitutional rights. Then you have Article 39A, which says that to promote justice on a basis of equal opportunity and to provide free legal aid by suitable legislation or scheme or in any other way to ensure the opportunity of securing justice are not denied to any citizens by reason of economic or other disabilities. So other disabilities or economic reason of man or a woman. So it is called, they have it says to any citizen. That means a man or woman. So proper equal opportunity should be given and proper legal aid should be given with regards to the same, only on the basis of the economic or other disabilities and not with regards to whether they are men or women. Then Article 42, that also states that the state to make provision for securing just and human condition of work and for maternity relief. Like for instance, human conditions. Like for I could just give you some example. When in the factory works, engineering factory works, etc. Long ago, there never used to be a washroom or a toilet for a woman separately, like or a changing room for a woman separately, which created a lot of problem because that time they used to appoint only men and women were very less. And that time there now it's says that if there is a woman also working, then there has to be a proper sanitary things being given to the workers, and the maternity relief under the code of social security has to be followed. Maternity relief means the leave after the before and after the birth of the baby, and also like she should not be given, if she is pregnant, she should not be given a long standing hours of work, etc., etc. So the social security code takes care of the maternity benefit of the pregnant lady and also the woman workers. Then you under Article 46, it says again the state is given a duty that state to promote with special care the educational and economic interest of weaker sections of the people and to protect them from social injustice and all forms of exploitation. Now, when we are talking about the interest of weaker sections of the people, economic interest of the weaker section. Weaker section basically is any section, but here we are talking about women because we feel even though we are very strong enough, we are the weaker sections in cases of with regards to the exploitation which is being done around. So we are social injustice is done, and in the form of exploitations of various things like. So it says that they have to promote a special care the educational and economic interest. So that's why the education is interest has to be taken care of, because once a woman is educated to a certain level, then she herself becomes economically free, and also she can protect herself from any social injustice and any form of exploitation. So education is one of the best mode of doing it. The state to raise the level of nutrition and standard of living in its people, Article 47 again. So that's why wherein there is a lot of state schemes which gives nutrition to the pregnant ladies and the smallest younger children, etc. Then Article 51 AE talks about to promote harmony and spirit of common brotherhood amongst all people of India and to renounce practices that derogatory to the dignity of women. Any practice is derogatory to dignity of women. So we see a lot of laws around that. See, like for instance, molestation or wherein a dignity of woman is in effect, like indecent representation of women in advertisements, etc. That has to be thrown out. So there are a lot of other things which has to be thrown out from the if any dignity of a woman. Now, what is dignity of a woman? Dignity of a woman is those things wherein she feels secure, wherein she feels that she is not in any way derogated like in by words or by pictures or by any other manner, then it's same. And then we have Article 243D 3, wherein it says that not less than one third, including the member of seats reserved for women belonging to scheduled caste and scheduled class, of the total number of seats to be filled by direct election in every panchayat to be reserved for women. And such seat to be allotted to the rotation, different constituents in a panchayat. So that means there is a reservation for a woman in the panchayat election, and the similar way in the corporation election and the other elections also, and that goes on in rotation. So this it is given in the Article 243D 3 and 4 itself. And also 243T with regards to every municipality to be reserved in the, that's why I said corporations. So these are all reservations with regards to the offices of the corporation, election, etc., wherein the constitution itself gives a right to the persons to be employed, sorry, to be elected. To be elected means for standing for the election. To be elected or not will be decided by the public, but at least to stand for the election, it is a it gives a right. Otherwise, before they were never used to have any reservations for women. Women were not allowed to stand for elections, but now the constitution itself gives a right for them to stand for elections and ask them to reserve those categories of the constituencies, which in rotation would be given to the other constituencies. Like now, this was with regards to the Constitution of India, which gives a lot of right to women nowadays to be to excel in their work, and whatever they want to do, the government has to help them out. Now, let's see few of the legal provisions like to uphold. We saw these are the constitutional provisions. To uphold these constitutional provisions, the state has to enact a lot of legal measures or legislative measures to ensure that the equal rights to counter social discrimination, that equal rights are given to women to counter the social discrimination, various forms of violence and atrocities, and to provide support services, especially to working women. Now, when we are talking about all these things, although women may be a victim of any of the crimes, such as murder, robbery, cheating, etc., the crimes which are directly, specifically against women are characterized as crimes against women. These are broadly classified under two categories. Let's see what are the crimes against the women in Indian Penal Code before and now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Some of them are can be the rape cases against women, kidnapping and abduction for different purposes. They kidnap children for getting them married and engaged. They kidnap for prostitution. They kidnap and abduct for taking away their what do you call the parts of the bodies like liver and heart, etc., like kidneys, etc. They kidnap for pushing them into prostitution, etc. So that is one of the ways. Then you have homicide for dowry or dowry deaths or their attempts. Dowry is a crime under the Indian Dowry Act, and also under the IPC you cannot ask for dowry, but in the name of giving it as a gift, they don't use the word dowry, but they use the word that you have given gift to your girl, so she is going to enjoy it and all those things like. But actually it's a dowry, so that is also covered under the BNS, that is Bharatiya Nyaya Sahita. Then you have torture, both mental and physical. Previously it was 498A of IPC, that is regarded with regards to the dowry and other things, marriage. So now it's section 85 of the BNS. Then you have molestation, you have sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is also separately dealt with under the POSH Act, that is sexual harassment of women at workplace. But even IPC deals with sexual harassment, importation of, importing the girls up to the age of 21 years to foreign countries for various reasons, criminal force and assault against women, offense related to marriages, that is bigamy, um, the other case causing miscarriage or etc. So these are some of the offenses, which crimes which are committed against the woman under the Indian Penal Code. And you can also include voyeurism and stalking over here. But voyeurism again is someone taking pictures, uh, videos without your permission, and stalking is a person stalking you physically or online social media. Both will also come under this thing. Okay, so these are some of the offenses or crimes against uh, women under the Indian Penal Code, now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. But there are other special laws. Although all laws are not gender specific, but provisions of the law affecting women significantly have been reviewed periodically, and amendment had been carried out to keep pace with the emerging requirements. Some acts have become special provisions to safeguard women and their interests are one. The Employee State Insurance Act. Now, when we see there are state employee state ESIC Act, that is now a part and parcel of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Sorry, the Code of Social Security 2020, wherein employee state insurance comes and women's are also have to get the Plantation Labor Act, the Family Court Act, the Family Court Act, the Special Marriage Act, Hindu Marriage Act. These are some of the acts wherein it gives the criteria for the divorce and maintenance, etc. Maintenance, alimony, etc. When we talk of maintenance, alimony, etc., the women have a right to her freedom first and foremost. Whatever she gets in a marriage, before marriage and after marriage, with regards to her marriage, is her freedom, and she will have to have that in whatever manner she's. There's her right. She has a complete 100% right on her freedom, and the maintenance and alimony according to gives it like according. So but then there are a lot of judgments which has come against women also, because if a woman is employed, educated, and not working, before she was employed, but now to get alimony she's not working, then the courts come heavily on women also. But still you have a right for maintenance, you have a right for alimony, you have a right for various things under the Marriage Act, etc. Okay, then you have Indian Hindu Succession Act with amendments, Immoral Trafficking Prevention Act, that is PITA, that is Prevention of Immoral Traffic Act. Here also, if anyone is immorally trafficked for prostitution, etc., there are special laws which can help her out. Maternity Benefit Act. Again, the Maternity Benefit Act is now as like Employee State Insurance Act is included in the Code of Social Security 2020. You had Dowry Prohibition Act is a special act wherein it is prohibited, a dowry is prohibited in any manner and in whatever name it is called. So that means it can't be even called dowry, but called gift and ask you to pay, then that also will be considered as a dowry. Then there is Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act. Yes, here also there are a lot of laws and rules with regards to medical termination of pregnancy and whether a woman wants to undergo that or not. And then the Equal Remuneration Act, which again goes into the minimum wages code. Okay, and we have Prohibition of Child Marriage Act. We have the Criminal Amendment Act and the Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act. I'll give an example of Indecent Representation of Women Prohibition Act. Like in advertisement, etc., you cannot have an indecent representation of a woman, shown in a very vulgar manner, and then the advertisement cannot be had. Like I'll just give you an example. It's a very funny ad which came, like, it was an ad for soap, which said that इसमें तो toy hai, something of something underwear she's washing in the riverbed or something like that. So that was something very vulgar according to me, and also it was shown very indecently with regards to women, which was actually then banned by the government. Okay, then the Commission of Sati Act, then the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act. This one act, that is the Domestic Sati Prevention Act, is also there, and which we see that Sati is not practiced much now. The Protection of Women from Domestic Violence. Now, domestic violence means something which happens in the four walls of the house. So now, when we are talking about the domestic violence, what is domestic violence, and who can get protection under this? So this is the protection of woman. Now, many think that it's only the wife who will be getting the protection under this act. No, it is not only the wife; it is a mother, sister, or anyone who is staying in a domestic relationship. So this is the only act wherein, to a certain extent, the live-in relationship is also given a certain legality. Okay, there is no other law which gives any legality to the provisions of a live-in relationship. But under protection of women, if you are seen as a husband and wife by the outsiders, then you can have a thing like, legal protections can be given to you, like. So that is one of the act which is now being used by many of them, and many of them, but mostly I find in the court of law, it's only the wife who are coming, parent, the mother or sister coming very rarely. There's one more act which also helps the woman, that is the Senior Citizens Act. The Senior Citizen Act is one act which is um, very very, what you call, very effective one for a mother who is old enough and the children's not taking care of. This senior citizen is for both mother and father, but as we are talking about the woman's right, I'll say the mother, and she can go to the no, not to the court, directly to the collectors and file it. So this is very effective because the cost is very less. You don't have to go to the court, and here there is no much cases pending before the collectors, and it is usually disposed of in some time. So it is also very effective when the children don't take care of the parents. The mother has a right under the Senior Citizens Act also. Okay, now there are special initiatives for women which is conducted from, like, we can say that National Commission for Women, which is there in the states. You have the State Commission for Women. So, like 19 January 1992, the government set up this statutory body. So this National Women's Commission, National Commission for Women, basically NCW. This was set up by the government in 1992 January, and which is a statutory body with a specific mandate to study and monitor all matters relating to constitutional and legal safeguards provided for women, review the existing legislation to suggest amendments wherever necessary. So basically, even people complain to the state um, Commission for Women or the National Commission of Women if there is any right which has been not given to her, or you know then they can file there also. Then you have reservation for women in local self government. The 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act was passed in 1992 again. This is also again 1992 by the parliament, which ensured one-third of the total seats for women in all elected offices in local bodies, whether in rural area or urban area. So that's what we spoke about, the constitutional amendments to those things with regards to Article 243 ABC, D, etc., and 243 T, etc., which we spoke about before. So that reservation comes as per the 73rd Constitutional Amendment, which was passed in 1992. Then we have the National Plan of Action for the Girl Child, 1991 to 2000. The plan of action is to ensure survival, protection, and development of girl child with the ultimate objective of building up a better future for the girl child. Now, why do we have this? Because we found that in these 90s, 80s and the 90s, the girl childs were being um aborted or killed after they are born, or they are just thrown out somewhere. So there were a lot of things which came and said that you have to have a better future for them and for the survival, protection, and development of this girl child. So the national plan was included so that this future of the girl child is protected in a much better manner. Then you have National Policy for Empowerment of Women 2001. The Department of Women and Child Development in the Ministry of Human Resource Development has prepared a national policy for empowerment of women in the year 2001. The goal of this policy is to bring about the advancement, development, and empowerment of women. So these are some of the policies. Furthermore, more education and awareness of women's rights are required, especially in rural regions. Women need to know their legal rights and how to file a complaint when those rights are infringed. Now, when we are talking about these are some of the laws which are there, that is the Constitution, the Indian Penal Code, now the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and the special acts under which the woman has a lot of right like. But when we see the role of judiciary and the woman's right, whether the judiciary is helping the woman's, yes, Indian courts have been crucial in defending women's right. There are a lot of judgments which defended human right, especially the Supreme Court and the High Courts. We have heard about the judicial activism which has come. Like for instance, one of the judicial activism which was done was in 2013 when the Vishaka's judgment came. Vishaka versus State of Rajasthan came in 1997, which was a stepping stone for the POSH Act in 2013. Right. So you can say that in order to address concerns like marital rape, property rights, and freedom, personal freedom, the judiciary interpreted constitutional provisions and broadened the application of current legislation. Even though now there is a talk about marital rape being penalized or being made it as a crime, the legislatures are still not taken any decision with regards to that. But in Vishaka's judgment, we found that POSH Act, which was required, that is protection of women from sexual harassment in workplace, was call of the day, and which we had. And then again, we had one more judgment in 2017 that was with regards to the Supreme Court ruling the practice of instant triple talaq was unconstitutional in the triple talaq case of Sahira Banu versus Union of India, protecting Muslim women's rights in marriage. This was another important decision, and we can say that was also a judicial activism which was caused like. So basically we see that India has made a great strides towards enacting laws that empower and protect women. Much more has to be done, but it's not enough. We have to do much more. That legal changes are crucial, but we also need to shift in a way how people think about the equality and the gender roles. Like for instance, I'll just give you an example. When we talk about the equality of the gender roles, we see it at the house level itself. The girls are the parents, like mother, even the mother, I'm just telling you, the mother, they will say to the girl child, you have to work, you have to learn to work in the kitchen and the other things, because when you get married, you have to do it. But when the son comes, to the kitchen, we say, what work do you have in the kitchen? So that gender roles, we embed them at home itself. That we have to shift, because we also have to think that if a son is going to marry a working woman, and then like she also should he also should help her in the kitchen. So that should be a gender role which a mother should now do it, which I find nowadays might be it's happening, but not to the level in which happening. So we cannot have everything with regards to legal law and the judgments of the High Court and the Supreme Courts, but it's something which we have to the change the which the people which the citizens have to change the way of thinking the gender roles. Like for instance, if something has to be brought from outside, it is the boys or the men of the house who has to go and buy things, because they can go at night, or they can go and out and come. But a woman has to work in the kitchen or do the household work, jadu maro, pocha maro, and all those things. Like, so that should change. The perception has to be changed. So if the society still perceives women as inferior or exploitable, the law will only be effective to a certain extent. Because I have to feel that I am much more than a man, I am stronger than a man, then only I will be able to do what I have to do. Like, so basically, when we are thinking of all those things, like, it is like we have to ensure that the change happens from the ground level and not the law or the constitution or anywhere else. Because if the ground level remains the same, there won't be much change and the law will not be effective at all. Like, I have seen many families, when the girl comes home saying that I'm harassed by the in-laws and the husband, I don't want to go back, they always think about what will the society say, जमाना क्या कहेगा, तो आप जरा वापस चले जाओ, ये हर किसी के घर में होता है, and they send back. There are only few families will stand behind a girl like a rock and say that, oh, if you are harassed, you are not feeling comfortable, we will take it to the court and we'll see to it that you get a divorce and you get a good life thereafter. So the families have to, I'm not saying in the wrong cases, but in the cases wherein it is required, you have to stand behind a girl like a rock, which many families don't do it. Like, now, to ensure that the woman may live in a society free from violation, discrimination, and inequality, the fight for gender justice must go on, and each person must do their share. In addition to bolstering legislative safeguards, we must promote a society in which women's rights are valued. I have a right, but whether it is valued by the common man is one thing. Like, for instance, when we see some husband trashing a wife, we say ये उसका घर का मामला है. Why not you just go and stop that man? ये घर का नहीं मामला है. It is not only the home, but it's from everyone. It's the society wherein he is staying. Like, when I will just give you some examples of, for instance, I will just want to see, if a woman is being harassed, if a woman wants to file a complaint, let me just give you a few uh, tips for how to go and do it. Like if someone is want to file a police complaint, they have to just go to the police station, and they have to just give a complaint to the officer in charge about whatever it is, under whatever section they want to. Now, when you say that, "Ki, these are the sections I want," and if the police officer refuses to take a complaint, then you have your course. Like, you can give your written complaint to the ACP and the DCP of your region, along with a copy to the office, and send it by registered post or a courier service, wherein you will have the acknowledgement. And now you have, even under the new BNSS, that is Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, you have a right to even complain online. But the only thing is that within a period of 3 days, you have to go and sign that FIR. Okay, so you have a right to go and file the FIR. And now, within 90 days, the police will also have to tell you what are the investigations they have done, and how the matter is going about. So you are kept in loop. Okay, what is the matter and how it is going about. Like, so now there are a lot of things which is in favor of the woman. Like, for instance, let me say one more thing. Like, in a rape cases wherein the consent of a female used to be a lot of time agitated in the court of law by the accused lawyers, advocates, saying that you had consented for this act. Now the law very clearly, after the 2013 amendment, after the Nirbhaya case, very clearly has said that even in the court, if the victim comes and says that she has not consented for the sexual activity, then there should not be any cross on that quality of the consent, that whether the consent was proper or not proper. So these are some of the laws which are in favor of a woman, wherein it says that she can be not asked any question with regards to the consent, and proving that she had consented for the sexual act, so it cannot be termed as rape. So there are a lot of other acts, so basically, if anyone is working and harassed in the workplace, sexual harassment. It can be sexual harassment, can be in any manner. So basic thing is when you are feeling uncomfortable in a circumstances wherein you feel that something is happening, someone is doing certain thing, or someone is looking at you in a very odd manner, or someone is saying something, or someone is saying to come out, for a coffee, or will not give you increment or a bonus or whatever it is like. So these are all some of many of the types of sexual harassment in the workplace. And you can go to the IC committee, which is there, that is the internal committee which is there in every organization, because every organization is now has compulsorily has a IC committee which has more than 10 employees in them. Now when there is no IC committee, there's a local committee also. You can go to the local committee, or you can go to the police station under the sexual harassment and complain to the police and go to the court. So there are a lot of options available to the women nowadays to go to the court and have it like. Now, whenever we are talking about woman, we have to understand one thing, like woman means any kind of a woman from age 0 to age whatever. Like for instance, there are some cases wherein when old ladies are um, disturbed in many manner, we don't take a look at them. We say that, "Arey, ठीक है ना, ओल्ड है, उनको कौन sexually harass करेगा." But no, they are also sexually harassed in many manner. They are also a lot of things are done against them. So we have to be careful with regards to those rights of them also. So like for instance, when we are talking about women, even the prostitutes are women. We forget that, and we say that, oh, prostitutes means ठीक है, they are not included in us. Like, no, nothing like that. They are also included in us. And if something like, for instance, even the prostitutes can complain for a rape and go before the police and say that, because even though she's a prostitute, she has to consent for the sexual act. If she doesn't consent for a sexual act and someone does it with her, then it's amounting to rape. So she can go and complain with regards to rape in that manner also. So there are a lot of, like for instance, um, there's one section wherein a false promise to get married and they stay together, and then later on he doesn't, so that itself is an offense under the BNS, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. Like, but only thing is you have to prove that his intention for not getting married from the beginning itself, and he just wanted to stay with me and enjoy my company, and that's what where it's an offense like. So it's a little bit difficult, but at least the BNSS has a section wherein you can complain that this person didn't have any intention of getting married, but made use of my body, and my mental stability has gone because of that. Like, now he's refusing to get married, and all those things. So that is also one of the things which we have. Now, as I said before, it's like not a single woman can be make a change, but as a woman in connection to everyone, or a woman in continuity, I might say that continuity in the sense, because one continues with the other and the continuity carries on, you have a lot of strength and you can change the world as a better place for everyone. Now the statistics says that how many persons are raped in so many thing. Why are our girls so vulnerable? That is vulnerable because of we don't teach them the good touch and the bad touch in the school. Many of the parents doesn't want us when doesn't want that schools to teach them the good touch and the bad touch, or the sex education which is being done. Why? Because, and many other things is like, when the schools, I also have seen that the schools should have a sex education, but it's not in a proper manner had in the, properly explained to the children what it is. So these are many of the girls and the boys want to experiment, and there's where there is a girl child being abused in a very bad manner, because might be the male child is also not aware of what is he doing, because they get a wrong information from the YouTube, etc., which is sometimes they want to just experiment and all those things like. So we have to see. So as I said, there are laws, plenty of laws to protect your rights as a woman, but that right will be effective only when, as a woman, as a mother, as a sister, as a daughter, you make yourself strong enough and you make others strong enough in your home, in your society, in your neighborhood, then only it will have an effect. Otherwise, it will not have an effect. So I can say that from the lot of rights which were not given to women. Nowadays, we find that there are huge rights given to women, but still, it is in our hand to take it or leave it. Like now, I would like to conclude this with a quote. Rihanna, the singer and the businesswoman, said that there is something so special about a woman who dominates in a man's world. Because when a woman dominates in a man's world, then that is like, uh, it's something special. It takes a certain grace, strength, intelligence, fearlessness, and the nerve to never take no for an answer. It's what she says. Like, so we are not supposed to take a no, and no for anything which we are eligible to, which we have to get it. So if we want something, just go and grab it in the sense as a rightful manner, not in a wrongful manner. Just take it, and that is what it is, which I feel should be an attitude of every woman. The attitude of a woman plays an important role in the woman and law. Because when your attitude is no nonsense, I would not take it. And then if something goes wrong, you can knock at the door of the justice system, and they are there to hear you. Like, but if your attitude is little bit shaky, you don't want to do certain things, then again it would not be so. I conclude saying that key women have to wear their attitude in their sleeves and work for each other in such a manner that the law seems to be not only remotely possible but is available to everyone at the time when you require. It's not that after 10 years you get your justice. No, at the time when you require, there is certain law, there is certain persons who are helping you out. So let us help each other, and let us see that the women's justice reasons and a lot of judicial activism from the Supreme Court and High Courts happen in favor of the women, and women's get a lot of rights. They have already got it. It's only the thing that we have to reinforce those rights along with everyone else. Like, it's not that we are the weaker section, but we have to reinforce the rights which we have got. Thank you very much.
Thank you, madam, for your insightful expertise given to the participants who will be watching this. And, ma'am, it's always great to be associated with you. So stay connected with us. Thank you so much. Uh, Thank you. We can. Ma'am, you are on mute.
Yes, I hope even if two or three girls take this as a reading, and they reinforce their empowerment, they look they are strong enough and they take it into their sleeves and do it something. I would be very happy that at least two or three people had done, and then the chain will continue with the other to follow. Like,
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
thank you very much for inviting. Thank you.
Bye.